Hello my lovelies, today I'm going to teach you how I color skin with Adobe Photoshop CS6. I'm going to jump straight into the tutorial because I want to make this short and to the point. So first of all, I painted a solid layer of base color underneath the sketch. And to color the skin, I normally use a soft round brush set at 100% opacity and flow. And to start off, I use a relatively light skin tone / color and I airbrush it in the areas around the face to create contouring. And then I add it to places where there should be shades, such as the neck. And after that, I take a slightly darker color and go over on top of the areas where there should be even more shadows. You'll see me do this a couple of times over and over again throughout this tutorial, each time with a even darker shade. So basically by layering on, you create different depth, and it's a slow process, so it'll take some time and a lot of patience. Now, the neck area and the ears should have the darkest shadows. Don't be afraid to make these areas really dark, or else your character's face will end up looking really flat and undefined. We want to make the main features of the face pop as much as possible, so it's essential to frame the face with these nice dark shadows. Okay, so here I'm going back to a lighter shade and I'm just adding on to the eye area and then creating the basic shadows for the nose and the lips. You have to be very careful about these two areas because contrary to the neck and the ears, if you make these too dark, it'll look unnatural. And then your characters will look like they got really bad plastic surgery. Also, if you make the nose and the lips too dark, the neck and ear areas won't stand out as much and the face will just look really flat. Now, when it comes to the lips, I used to have a lot of trouble with them, and I found out the best way to learn how to draw them is to 1. Be a creep and stare at other people's lips all day every day, or 2. Find those lip gloss or lipstick commercials and stare at their pictures for reference. Now, if you guys want an in-depth tutorial on how I color my lips, make sure to give this video a thumbs up or let me know in the comments below. So as you can see here, I'm going back into the neck area and making it more defined. And in a second here, I'll start adding on the shadows from the hair. So to do that, I normally create a new layer on top of my current layer and set the mode to multiply. Then I use a hard round brush to create more defined shadows in places that I think the hair will cast. And of course, this depends on where the light source is. I also use this chance to add more shadows to the eye area as well. And when that's all done, I merge the two layers together. And after that, I just basically play around with what I already have. I drop the colors that are already there, and then I just use them to fix and render the skin. Okay, so now I move in on the nose. The darkest shadows on a nose should be at the top part where the bridge is and the area where the nostrils are. The nostrils itself, like the two lines, are usually very, very dark. A lot of artists like to make them black, but personally I can never make that work for me, so I just make sure that is the darkest part of the nose instead. Okay, so in a moment the recording is going to stop. I moved on to the hair and the eyes, and then I did some more rendering with the skin, except I totally forgot to record it. So I'm just going to show you guys the final product and then talk a little bit about it. Okay, and here it is. Oh, I totally forgot to mention this earlier, but remember to merge the sketch layer with your color layer. What happens is that I always end up moving the features around, and it helps a lot if it's all in one layer. So for example, I moved the nose up a little bit, and I also made the lips bigger. Okay, so now I'm going to reveal my not so secret ultimate weapons, which are basically just the Photoshop effects. So what I did was I selected the skin layer, and then I went over here to filters, sharpen, and selected smart sharpen. And basically I play around with the settings a little until I get something I like. What I really love about this effect is that it makes whatever you're using this effect on look a lot more crisp and clean. And after that, I went into images, adjustments, and then this wonderful thing called levels. So using this, I made the shadows darker, and I also brightened up the whole thing as well. And this is probably my favorite thing ever in Photoshop. I'll probably talk about it a lot in my future tutorials as well. I use it on everything, and I use it on like the final products too. And that concludes my tutorial on how to color skin. I really hope that helped. Click here to watch some of my other tutorials, and click here to subscribe to moi. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys later with more tutorials and speed paints in the future. Bye!